thank you so much for being here. I'm Tina, Community Manager at BBI, and I'm sitting here with Trey and Elliot. For those of you who don't know, Trey is our Game Director, and Elliot is our Associate Creative Director on Hardspace Shipbreaker.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're here to celebrate our 1 month since launch early access anniversary with you and talk about a few things.
Holy smokes. 1 month.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday.
Wild.
Whew.
It's true. So, we'd like to talk about a few things. First, early access, then the OpenShift that just released last update, and also the leaderboards. And lastly, we want to give you a little update on what's coming in our first major update in August.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so what was first, Tina? Was it early access?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk early access, shall we? Okay, first, on behalf of the entire dev team, Elliot and I really just want to thank you all out there, really, each and every one of you for sharing this experience, this crazy early access journey with us. It's been a blast. And again, like it feels like it was just yesterday, launch. But it's before we launched, only about 200 people had touched this game, had played this game, and most of them had only played it for like 10, 15 minutes, like a PAX, right? So to have so many of you out there playing the game and diving deep, spending hours and hours into the bellies of these ships and the progression system and the economy and the narrative, seeing you guys kind of experience that and share that, and the feedback and the notes, the ideas that you've all been sharing with us. It's been huge and exactly what early access is all about. So thank you for that. So feedback, yeah, that seems like the perfect segue into OpenShift, huh, Elliot?
Totally. Yeah. So, like Tina said, OpenShift just came in the last update. It was clear to us from launch that a lot of people wanted the option to play without the shift timer. And that timer exists in the standard mode as a way to provide structure to the game loop and to reinforce this idea that you have a job and you're on the clock. It's meant to give like a very light amount of pressure, but at the same time, we recognize that for some people, they want to just enjoy that zen-like quality of tearing these ships apart, which is in itself extremely rewarding. And there's also plenty of accessibility reasons why you might want to play without the timer. And so it was really important to us that we try to accommodate that desire and to give people a timer-free mode. That's exactly what early access is for, to get a feature out there, to get your feedback, and then to iterate on it. In fact, we're already looking at adding the option in OpenShift mode to change your oxygen drain off and on, because that's an additional thing that some people want to play with it on, some people don't want it. So that's something that we're going to continue to do throughout early access as we listen to community feedback.
So he is already helping us make the game better. So thank you for that. That's awesome. So what's next, Tina?
The leaderboards.
Leaderboards. Okay, I'll take that one. So yeah, we've been focusing on making a really strong, compelling single-player game. But during our research and kind of the phase of the project, we recognized that there are some players out there that want to compete, that have this desire to compete against other people, and it's an opt-in kind of thing. It's not all about competing, but it's there for people if they want to measure up how good you are compared to the other cutters out there in the world. So hence the leaderboard feature. And it was something with some help from Focus we got to bring in early here. And it's a feature that really, this is just the beginning. Like, we've got big plans for leaderboards, but the framework is in. We were able to kind of turn them on. So we'll have more on leaderboards soon. Soon TM, like Jessica likes to say. Elliot, anything else you want to add to leaderboards?
Just that I want my own personal leaderboard so I can actually crack the top 100.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, Elliot has been on the project since day one, 4 years and change. And up until launch, Elliot was the very best Hardspace Shipbreaker player on the planet. But now, not so much.
Not so
Not so
much.
much. No, yeah. Which
More.
is awesome. Which is
Yeah.
awesome that to see some ringers out there and some of the speed runs and some of the stuff that people have put out there. So thanks. Okay. So that was leaderboards. What's next, Tina?
The major content update in August.
August. Yeah. So big stuff in the works for August. But before we get to that, first off, we just like to thank everybody out there for your patience. We're a small but we're a mighty team, and it's really taken a good chunk of everything that we got just getting this game off the ground and as performant as we could muster for as many players as possible. And addressing the feedback and the suggestions in regards to fixing bugs that were keeping people from playing the game, and gameplay tweaks for people that could play the game and we're doing it, like OpenShift. I mean, that's a clear example of something that we hadn't planned, that we jumped on right away because we saw and we heard how important that was to you guys. So that's kind of been our focus, is just really kind of getting the swing of things. But now that we are getting the hang of what it's like to do a live development in a game, now we can start shifting some of our focus and our resources back to creating content, like new content. So what does new content look like? Well, we're hearing you guys want some more ships. Yeah, more ships, Elliot?
Totally, yeah. We know that like the key thing that people really want right now is more ships to take apart. Specifically ships that are structured differently and provide different challenges than what's in the current roster. And so the first ship that we'll be introducing in August is known as the Stargazer model. And it's a unique variant of the Gecko class ship. Used primarily as a science ship used for deep space research and surveying. And it's structured quite different than the existing Geckos. It's a lot longer and it's more thin than it is wide like the other ones. And it's got a reactor that's sort of like up towards the front of the ship as opposed to the back, which provides its own.
Spoilers.
You're right. Sorry, I should let people figure out the strategy on their own. So anyways, this is the first science ship that we're adding to the game. And so it comes with a whole slew of components and objects that you just don't find on the other ships, such as these highly explosive hydroponic research pods, basically, and then massive solar arrays that are all on the outside of the ship. And there's also a handful of data logs that you only find on these ships that talk about being a deep space research person in the Shipbreaker world.
Little messages in a bottle from Science Land, from some new
Mm-hmm.
places that we haven't seen in the game yet. So, yeah, on the dev side, the team, like, we've all been playing the early versions of the Stargazer, and it's super fun. Lots of new stuff for you guys to play around with. It's going to be fun. So we can't wait to share that with you. There are a couple of other updates that we've got brewing that we wanted to kind of share with you. And the first one is a new player character VO option. So from day one, it was important to us that you were the player. We wanted to immerse you in the experience as best we can, as best we could. And we had one kind of player voice at launch, but we've always planned to bring more in. So coming with that August update is the framework to start adding more voices. So more options available for you to select a voice that you can identify with, that can hopefully pull you more into the experience and personalize that experience better than what we can. So yeah, the framework for that second player is going in August, but more voices, we've got that in the works too as we go.
Totally, yeah. We're always going to be looking for more ways for players to customize the experience. And that includes how you want to play. So in the last update, we provided a sort of bare bones way for players to rebind their keys in a config file. We're actually in the next update going to have an in-game UI to make that more accessible for everybody. And then shortly after that, we want to add the ability to remap your gamepad buttons as well. So that will be coming forward soon.
Yeah, so we've been busy, and we'll continue to be busy, and it's all worth it because of you out there. Really, it's still really pretty surreal for all of us that there are so many of you shipbreakers out there playing the game and cutting up ships and sharing stories and strategies on Discord and in the videos and the content that you've been creating. And on the message boards, like the passionate discussions like Timergate and all of these things. It's been so surreal to us. It means a lot to us. It really does.
Yeah, and please continue to let us know how we're doing. You already helped us make the game better. We're listening to everything that you guys have to say, and we just want to thank you. And thank you for all the amazing art and fiction that you guys have been sharing with us as well. That's just blowing us away.
It's so good. It's so good. Alrighty, well, yeah, it's we got to get back to it. But again, thank you. All right, well, make sure you guys check that out. And again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, everyone. Really,
In the very depths of our hearts.
the very, very depths of our hearts. In all seriousness, we feel very, very fortunate to have such an active and passionate and positive and supportive community around the game. We really don't know what to say besides thank you, and y'all rock.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you at 1 p.m. for the live AMA on Discord.
Okay, see ya.
Bye, everybody.